Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Today, Bridget Griffin shared a video of her daily yoga routine, 2 self-help articles, and her new blog called Build Your Inner Bridge with Bridge. Girl, your sharing has turned into oversharing. No worries, Bridge. Geico has some info worth sharing with your 7 blog followers, like how you could save money on your car insurance, update your policy, and report a claim just by visiting geico.com. How's that for building your inner bridge? Bridge? Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Changing minds one thought at a time.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Changing Minds Online show. We are going to have a wonderful, wonderful guest tonight. She is an awesome motivator and speaker and coach, and she is really going to bring it home for us tonight as we talk about going from foster care to millionaire. And without further ado, we will have Miss Amber Aziza. How are you doing, Amber?
I'm well. How are you?
I am great. It is such an honor to have you on the show tonight. You know, you have really touched many people's lives with your Periscope and all of your wonderful information and nuggets that you bring to the people. And today we get to learn a little bit more about the Amber Aziza that people may not know. How about that?
Oh, that sounds great.
So, Amber, we're going to get started, and we're going to talk about how you chose this title, From Foster Care to Millionaire. Tell us more about that.
So I started my kind of journey of who I am and my earliest memories started before I was actually taken to foster care. I was born to drug-addicted and alcohol-addicted parents who were unable to care for me, let alone themselves. And I ended up in foster care. And in foster care was really where I learned to have a tough skin. I was there for 3 years, from the age of 4 until I was 7. And I learned to kind of have a tough skin because, you know, all of the negative things you hear about foster care, that was exactly what I was in. Now, of course, there were some amazing foster care homes, but the ones that I was in were not very friendly or loving. And so I learned to be tough, but I also learned to really look out for myself and to know when to trust my gut as to whether or not to trust someone. And I was eventually adopted by my fabulous family, and I am, now a 7-figure business owner. I've built and sold my first 2 companies before I turned 30, and so it's just quite the transition in life that I've made from being a foster child to being a millionaire.
Wow. You know, a lot of people may or may not know that about you. And, you know, that may have been the reason why you're so swift and quick with your wit and, of course, nuggets as well nowadays. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes. That's exactly why I learned to kind of, have that bit of a sharp tongue to when I was younger, I used it more so as a protection and a defensive mechanism. But as I got older, I learned to really sharpen that sword to get my point across and to let people know that I'm not the one to play with.
Oh, exactly. You know, sometimes in business, when they see women, they automatically think, oh, this is going to be a good time, this is going to be easy or what have you. But then you have to show them that you're not the one to play with, that you know your skills, you know your game. Have you ever had to encounter that?
Oh, all the time, regularly. Anytime I when you run a business, you run into conflict, you run into issues. Every client isn't going to love you. Every competitor isn't going to love you. And so, there have been times where I've been sued by competitors for different things and, coming out on top for that. And there have been times when I have been in a position where I was uncomfortable and I had to kind of use my wit and use my knowledge to get myself out of an uncomfortable situation in my business. And so as a female entrepreneur, you will find yourself in situations, whether you create them or not, that you're not going to love. And the difference between women who can make it to seven figures and women who can't, really generally entrepreneurs who make it to seven figures and entrepreneurs who can't, are those who understand their worth and their value and those that will accept nothing.
Ooh, you made a mighty point. Those who will accept nothing or less. Now, in the business area, I do know that you are an awesome business coach, and I'm sure that you encounter many different clientele. What is your favorite clientele?
I love working with the underdog, and I hate that term. It's such a bad-sounding term, but I work with a vast variety of entrepreneurs. I work with entrepreneurs who have built their businesses into multi-million-dollar empires, and then I work with entrepreneurs who are brand new to the business. My favorite type of entrepreneur is one who's new, one who's excited and has amazing ideas but just isn't sure how to execute them, or they know how to execute them, but they just need a little bit of guiding hand. I love being able to see a business go from incubation to entire formation and into domination. And that's like the best part of being a business coach for me.
Now, see, the reason why I asked you that was because, everybody has their niche. Some people like to help the ones who are already started and just take them to domination, whereas you are the ones that like to start from the beginning and make sure that they reach domination. But see, the point is that they reach domination. I get it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and I was thinking, having two businesses before the age of 30, what a huge accomplishment. What a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you attribute that to?
I think I attribute it to, I've always been that person that if you tell me I can't do it, then I'm going to, die trying, so to speak. And so for me, being a Black woman, you hear so often what you can't do or what you're not going to be good at. And I was kind of tired of it. And I had made the decision that I was going to create and form my own business and make my own rules and not be told what I can and can't do. And so for me, I would attribute the early success from the drive of wanting to create something amazing because I was being told that I couldn't. And then also my nieces. I have two young nieces, and I wanted them to be able to have an example of a woman who has built a successful business that wasn't Oprah. So many times we lean on as a society on saying, oh, you want a successful Black woman? Look at Oprah. And it's like Oprah is not the poster child of successful Black women. There are so many spectrums of women and different types of women who have had major success. And I wanted my nieces to be able to see that someone who's just like me is doing something amazing.
Oh, my goodness. You hit the nail right on the head. A lot of people, that is the first reference. They say, well, Oprah did it, and Oprah did, and Oprah. And, and kudos to Oprah, not taking away from Oprah. But you're right. There are so many people that you don't know that are 6- and 7-figure earners that are just walking down the street just like you and me, mixed in between. They don't even share it. You would never know. unless you ask them or you actually Google them, you know. And it's amazing that people would actually want to not be known for that accomplishment. Have you ever had clients that chose not to say that they were 6- and 7-figure earners?
You know what? The majority of my clients choose not to reveal that. Some do it because they're like, I don't need certain people in my life knowing that. But others, that's not the focal point. And honestly, if I weren't a business coach, I wouldn't really focus on that either. The reason I focus on it is because that is what I do. That's what I do is for a living, so I have to kind of focus on that 7-figure mark. But a lot of my clients choose to not even pay attention. I've had clients hit 7 figures for the first time when they're working with me, and they not even notice it. They don't even notice it. They'll look back and say, oh, my gosh, I hit 7 figures in January. And it's like, it's May. So, yeah, you see it all the time. And, one of the things that I try to warn my clients against, especially the African-American females that are my clients, and I focus heavily on that because I feel like we're such an interesting demographic. But one of the things that I focus on is explaining to them that just because you have it doesn't mean you have to show it all the time. And I say that by, I hit 7 figures over over a year ago, maybe 2 years now. And, yeah, definitely now that I think about it. And you would probably never know it. You might know it if you saw my condo, because it's in an exclusive building. But I drive a 2011 Kia Sorento. I don't fly private. I only fly first if I can upgrade with my points, or if it's a really, really long flight and I just can't do a really long flight. But you wouldn't really know it. I don't wear lots of flashy jewelry. I don't really succumb to buying the $3,000, $4,000 bags. That's just not me. And if you look at other CEOs, other entrepreneurs who built their businesses into major success, you'll see the same. Mark Zuckerberg wears the exact same thing every day. He lives in a beautiful home, but it's very modest, not over the top and flashy. And I think that sometimes because we are told that when you get it, you're supposed to spend it and you're supposed to show everybody that you have it, that there's this misconception about it. I once was told by a photographer that I need to be more flashy and that I need to, buy a pair of red bottoms and I need to wear designer clothes in my photos. And I said, that's A, not me, but B, absolutely ridiculous. Because the reality is that you can have a $5 million year, but if you spend $5 million on trying to keep up appearances, then you really didn't have a $5 million year. For me, it's important that the women in our community know that and that they understand that and they don't feel that pressure that once they do succeed, once my clients do hit 7 figures, that they don't immediately feel like, okay, now I have to be really, really flashy. No, just keep being yourself.
Wow. And that is the total opposite of what society is telling us. You see the videos and they getting at the cars, getting off their plane to get into the limo, to get into this, to go to their house with the pool in it, and
Exactly.
But you don't pay attention to the fact of how much money that takes to maintain all of that. They never talk about that piece. And in order to be a 6, 7 figure earner, you have to be able to keep the 6 and 7 figures, in-house or in investments. And people, but that's how society puts it out there. So what is something that you would tell someone who is aspiring to start their businesses, or, just right there at the cusp of just starting their business? What are a few tips that you would tell them about that spending habit or about that appearance that is just completely not true?
I would say the thought of the start before you're ready. I think that the term "start before you're ready" it's a really a misunderstanding and easily misconstrued. When people say you should start before you're ready, they mean don't wait until everything is perfect to get a start on building your business. However, they don't mean quit your job tomorrow and have no backup plan. They don't mean, quit your job, fly to LA, and now you're an actor and you have a kid to look after. They don't mean, to walk away from security of being able to pay your bills to live your dreams and be broke. That's not what they mean. Now, yes, there's going to be struggle. Yes, there are going to be times when money's going to be tight. But I really don't believe in jumping in without a financial plan. I'm a huge fan of Dave Ramsey. And one of the things that he always says is if you can't pay for it in cash, don't buy it. And I use the same methodology when I have my clients and I'm helping them with their budgeting. Same thing with my businesses as well. We use the same method. We never put anything on credit cards. We don't even have a company, quote-unquote, credit card. Everything is on a cash basis. If I want to have a retreat, so for example, in October, we're having a retreat in Paris. That's being paid for in cash. If you can't operate on a cash basis, especially small online businesses when it's just you, if you're starting to put things on credit cards, you're already setting yourself up for failure because it's so difficult to pay off those credit cards, so difficult to catch up. And so don't put yourself behind before you even begin. My biggest advice would be have a financial plan and operate in cash. Can't afford it right now, find a bootstrapping method to help you along the way and help you have similar results until you can afford it. So an example, when I first started my very first company, we couldn't afford Entreport or Infusionsoft or any of the big name CRM systems. You're talking about $300, $400 a month. That wasn't in the budget. That wasn't something that I could afford at that time. So instead we used MailChimp and Lead Pages and all sorts of other, cheap or free tools to help get us to the point where we could make enough money where we could afford that extra $300, $400 a month. So take your things that you want for your business, line them up, write them all out, label them A, B, and C. A's are the absolute, we have to have them. We can't operate without a business if we don't have them. These would be the, okay, it would be nice to have those things, but we can operate without it. It's going to be painful to operate without it, but we're going to operate without it. And then, of course, the C's are the luxury items. Those are the CRM systems that cost a few $100s a month. Those are the extra $30 here, $50 there. And then operate your business based on having A's and gradually moving into B's and C's as you need to. It may seem silly at first, but the reality is one of the biggest reasons that businesses fail within the first 18 months, 80% of businesses fail within the first 18 months of being in business, is because they didn't have a financial plan. They just jumped in blindly.
Wow. That makes perfect sense. And, you just basically put down a whole lot of myths with that right there. It's okay not to have the biggest and best when you're first starting. Be able to pay for it in cash and not have a credit card and, do the best with what you have at the moment and then move up to greater. Don't wait to start a business if you're waiting on greater because, you have to make the money to get to greater. Those are such great points, Amber. And, let's talk a little bit more about Amber Aziza Enterprises. I know that, of course, is your baby. And, I understand that you just recently had a new launch. Tell us about it.
Yes, I did. I recently launched Midnight Millionaire Club, which is our membership site, and it's geared towards women of color who are in the infancy stages of their businesses for the first 1 to 2 years of being in business. And it's really a culmination of all the resources and just random things that as an entrepreneur starting out, I wish someone had told me. Everything from how to balance my work-life, situation to how do I set up a budget for my business to what on earth is a business plan and do I need one? And so it's really a culmination of so many lessons that myself and other entrepreneurs have struggled with. And so we have guest mentors. We have over 80 archived trainings, as well as 3 new trainings each month. We have live webinars, and we really have built this tight-knit community that allows there to be this openness for asking questions, because sometimes we feel silly asking questions, or we're asking questions to the wrong people who don't really know the answer. Whereas in our community, it's filled with mentors who have hit 6 and 7 figures in their businesses. It's filled with people who are just starting out in their business, and they're right there along there with you. And it was designed to help women feel comfortable in building their business and not feel like every entrepreneur who is successful must be, 6'2", blonde hair, blue eyes, and, legs for days. That they can be someone who looks and sounds like me, or someone who, may not be the quote-unquote perfect look, but they know their stuff, and that's what matters in entrepreneurship. It's not who's the best looking, and who knows the most, and who's the best at what they do. And so we really create that environment for women to thrive and be the best at what they do.
Oh, my goodness. That is so well needed right now. It's a lot of people who are not feeling comfortable starting their businesses, who do not have that support, who are not around people who can tell them about the latest resources, or don't even know that they can have, a collective group of other female entrepreneurs who are doing the same things, and that is a great resource for any woman of color. I mean, I have to applaud you for that, Amber. And I know many people who will benefit from that as well. And so now you were speaking about the guest speakers. Tell us a little bit about how someone could be a guest speaker, or how you would choose a guest speaker.
Absolutely.
What would they find when they get in the group?
So our guest mentors are they're amazing. A lot of them are folks who have hit $1 million, multi-million-dollar status. I try to keep it a group of diverse mentors who have had success, and I try to make it diverse not just in ethnicity or gender, but also in their field of study. So we've had everything from Elder Mark Moore, who did relationship coaching and really talked about how to do the work-life balance, how to make sure that you're not abandoning your relationship as you build your empire. We've had like Latasha Kennard, who teaches millennial wealth and how to build it. So she talked about how to build a financial business plan. We've had, of course, the bestie, Fabiola. She talks about branding and marketing. We've had a Pinterest expert. We've had an expert on lead pages. We've had an expert on Facebook ads. We've had an expert on health and wellness, so, exercises you can do during the day that won't take up too much time but will have a high impact. We've had a nutritionist from London. So we've had such a mix of amazing mentors that have created such fantastic content that really helps our members with their day-to-day trials that they're going to run into as they're building their businesses.
Oh, my goodness. See, Amber, I had to bring you on the show because you are full of nuggets and you are holding on to valuable information that we all need. So, I am so pleased that you're speaking to the audience with all this wonderful information. And I am definitely aware of the Millionaire Midnight Millionaire Club, love it. Love the Facebook page. Awesome. Everyone should come over and definitely check it out. And now, what else does the Amber Aziza Enterprises do?
So we have so many other elements of our business. We have a plethora of great coaches. I myself am retiring from coaching, but I have an amazing team of female coaches. Minlin Chong, she focuses on our branding clients, and she is just such a rock star. She has gained a lot of notoriety in the health world for helping a lot of the health professionals and health coaches with their branding. I also have Isi Adewale. She's amazing. She's a business strategist, and so she handles a lot of our business clients, especially the ones who are more in the infancy stages. And then we also do speaking coaching. So I have David Deesh. He does speaking coaching. He is a master speaker. So he's not just like, someone who speaks and does really well and gets paid to do it, but he's actually a certified master speaker. So I have an amazing rock star team of coaches. We also have our 5-Figure Speech Academy that's opening up that Dave and I are doing together. We both make well over 6 figures a year in public speaking, and so we team together to build this great course for people who want to expand their businesses by using public speaking, as well as we are working on a new project that's going to be released next year that focuses on helping women of color find their voice. So we've got so much going on. We stay busy.
Oh, my goodness, Amber, yes, you do. And did I hear that correctly? You are retiring for one-on-one coaching. No.
I am. It just hit a point where, I did so much. And when I coach, it's almost like my fiancé compares it to being like a superhero. And, when you use your powers too much, it drains you, and you're like, I'm a breath. That's what it's like when you're coaching, and you're coaching with all of who you are. You roll yourself into it, and then at the end you're so exhausted, and then it's like, wait, nope, I have another client, got to power back up. And so, I've been doing it for a while in different shapes and forms, and I have a great team, and they're going to take that element over. I'll still manage our Platinum Group, which is our group year-long mastermind coaching program, but I won't do one-on-ones any longer.
Oh, well, I mean, everyone who has worked with you, I know, has extremely been blessed by your talents and your compassion that you give to each session. So, I know everyone is going to miss that, but, if they want it, they definitely need to join the Platinum Group, right?
Exactly, absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, please let us know, Amber, what do we need to be looking out for from you? What is next on the docket? What's next on the journey?
So next we have our Platinum Group registration will open up, so that'll take a lot of our time. And then we have a retreat in Paris coming up in October, as well as one in Tokyo coming up in end of October, and then a retreat in Bali in December. So we've got a lot coming up.
Ooh, and how does anyone get some information or be able to join those events?
Sure. So to join any of our masterminds or coaching experiences or retreats, you can just go to asquaredcoach.com. That's ASQUAREDCOACH.com. And if you're interested in our Midnight Millionaire Club program, you can just go straight to midnightmillionaireclub.com.
Oh, my goodness. How in the world could anybody pass that up with all the plethora of information that you have sitting there waiting on them? You have made this a true no-brainer, Miss Amber.
I tried.
What is that last takeaway you would like to give us?
I would say believe in yourself. And it sounds so hokey to say it, but really, if you don't believe that you can do it, if you don't believe that you can have success and you can have multi-million-dollar business and you can have the life of your dreams, then you're right, it won't happen. So you have to constantly believe in yourself, and you have to recharge that belief and surround yourself with people who have that belief as well. Once I started changing who was around me, it's so true when people say with whom you assemble, you begin to resemble. Once I started changing the people around me, I started to notice a shift in the things that I was doing in my life and how the business was going. Once I started focusing on, recharging me and telling me, hey, you can do this, you got this, girl, I started to really believe it, and then I started to actually achieve it. So believe in yourself and surround yourself with people who believe in you. And if you're around a lot of people who don't believe in you, it may be time to change social circles.
I think you just dropped the mic, Miss Amber. I think I heard it. I heard it just go ding. It just dropped. That is a wonderful thought, because a lot of people are scared to let go of those lifelong friends and even some of those loving family members. But at the end of the day, if that is not benefiting you and where you're trying to go, sometimes you have to change your inner circle. And once we realize that, and then we start doing that, we start seeing the shift, and we start seeing where we're truly meant to go. So, Amber, can you please tell anybody who would love to follow the woman that came from foster care to Millionaire, how do they follow you?
So you can find me on social media at Amber_Aziza, everywhere except for Snapchat, where I'm just Amber Aziza.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Amber, for being on the show tonight. I truly, truly appreciate you being here. It was my honor and privilege to have you here tonight.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
And if Amber said something tonight that resonated with you, you can find this podcast at changeyourmindsonline.com. You can also find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Tuned In, and, of course, our YouTube channel. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone who listened tonight and who catches us in podcast time. And take in these nuggets and truly focus Amber has given you tonight, because there's mighty nuggets in these powerful words. So until next time, have a good night, everyone.